true, but I didn't.
It's totally
No, it's just a different mentality out here, and it really was. Back in Toledo, we all came in there, and every guy going in there had the same, like literally, you remember Junior.
Hell yeah.
Everybody went in there like Junior. Everybody went in there like a Rick Humphreys, you know what I mean? And we worked. And when I went in, Sean was training for a U.S. title, right?
Yeah, I think it was ISKA.
Yeah, so Sean, he was training for U.S. title, and I was a little bit lighter back then than I am today. But he's looking for sparring partners, and I'd never done traditional Thai before.
What was it before that?
I got a black belt in Taekwondo, and then I took military combatives. I took Hapkido, went through law enforcement training, started working some ground stuff. But I was used to leg kicks, just not.
Had a nice sidekick.
Yeah, I used a sidekick to push people up. Surprisingly enough, I much better stretch back then. But taking a leg kick with somebody's foot versus
shin,
taking it to the shin was a different world, And
wakes you up.
So when we started training, and a lot of the stuff I did with my hands, it was much more Taekwondo, much more. I let them fly a little bit too much. I pulled a lot, these punches back for more power. And that's actually, it's the only time I've ever been knocked out was by this guy.
That's the only time you've been knocked out?
That's the only time ever. Almost in that last fight. I was almost sleeping in that last fight.
When are you going to get him back?
Nah, dude, he's always going to be faster.
I was hoping he forgave me for that.
He's always going to be a little faster. But nah, so that was, my first probably 3 to 4 weeks is what endeared me to it.
Tell me about, so what brought you to his door?
I wanted to do something, back in that age, I was always rated in Taekwondo, and that was the thing back then, you know what I mean? Like, that was the big thing. There was no, people now go, Taekwondo guy. Well, there was no UFC, you know what I mean? And there wasn't any big shows. When we were beating each other up by full contact, that was the big thing. You talk about Superfoot Wallace and all those guys.
Yeah.
That's what we did. So going out here, I didn't know much about Thai, and I saw these guys in there. Honestly, thought I was gonna just go walk through everybody. I was
Whoa! Stop for 1 second. What brought you in the door? Was it a pamphlet? Did you know a guy? Like, how did you know to go in there?
There was an ad. I forgot what the ad was actually. I just answered an ad. It was like there was some flyer.
I do.
We
I
need someone
coming in. It was off of I think I did one of these money mailer things, but I also there was a guy you knew from Monroe, Scott, I think it was. I was asking him. I needed looking for sparring partners. I think you were working with. I don't know. One of them. Many.
Was that Dean, right? Was it Dean that was up there?
That was up. I was up at, but I don't think you were done with Fermi at that time.
Yeah, I think
you were already working with some other stuff. But yeah, you come in and it was to take classes, but you were, I think, more interested in just getting in there and doing some rounds. That's just how I remember it. I think you trained a bit. I feel like I held off for a while, and you just nagged at me to get in there with me.
Actually, I remember the conversation because I was offended by it. He said I asked him like I came in here specifically to spar and to fight, and you got this thing coming up, this U.S. title. That's why I came in here. Let's go. And I remember Sean telling me. I remember this because it's etched in my head because it gave me a case of the ass. He's like, I like you and I don't want to hurt you.
Oh, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
That really must have gotten your craw because
obviously it's 20 years later.
You dream about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we see what happened, don't we?
Yeah.